State Enterprises. Ke bidwa Arafat Kichokan ke mo Parliamente wa Molepolle North. Ke eteletse pele committee ya Statutory Bodies and State Enterprises. Ano ke a go neela maloko a committee gore ba itshupe gore ke bomang le bodiredi a ba hetsa be ke le neela.
Ke a leboga modula Stilo. Maina a me ke bidwa go Tlhabologo Furniture ke leloko la komiti yone mme ke le mo Palamente wa batho diphologolo le ditlhare tsa tatio go tlhaba. Ke a leboga.
Thank you, Chair. Ke bidwa ga Felix Dombo ke mo Palamente wa Tonta ke bile ke leloko la komiti. Ke a leboga, Chair.
Thank you, Mula Stilo. Makidumedise BOTSWANA botlhe ka kakaretso ke le dumedise le lona. Ke bidwa go Mphemetse Kwapa ke le mo Palamente ko Joane Mabutsane. Gape ebile ke le leloko la komiti yone. Ke a leboga.
Ke a leboga, Honorable Chair. Maina a me ke Jeremiah Frenzel, Member of Parliament for Shashe West, Gautshwane le Francistown. Thank you.
Dumela Magarona. Thank you, Chair. Ke bidiwa Caterpillar Kaina Ngura Hikwama, Member of Parliament for Mau West, ke leloko la committee yone. Ke a leboga.
Ke a leboga, Chair. Ke bidiwa Phil Aaron, Member of Parliament for Ngami, bile ke leloko la komiti yone. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Janet Madiepe Mahana, Deputy Auditor General. I'm with my colleagues, Mrs. Lobengo and Mrs. Tinyo. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. My name is Koketso Musimanyani, Assistant Accountant General, standing in for the Accountant General. I'm with my colleague, Katata Molefe. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Rapalande Zinkau from Attorney General.
Good morning. Kibidwa Khamangwe Libele. I'm the technical advisor to the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning. My name is Tiroya Onemuntusi Morewakwena. I'm the committee clerk for this committee. Thank you.
Morning. My name is Kepatsi Momipe from the Office of the Parliamentary Council.
I now invite the Journalist and Sports Council Commission representatives to introduce themselves.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Olibile Sikwani. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for the BNSC.
Good morning. Good morning, Chair. My name is Piwa Abusanofile. I'm the Finance Manager.
Morning, Chair and members. My name is Makuke Stephen Makuke. I'm the Director for Business Development and Property Management Services.
Good morning, Chair and members. My name is Peaceful Seleka. I'm the Director for Development at the BNSC. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm now going to proceed to administer the oath. Let me remind witnesses that the proceedings are under oath. You have been summoned to give evidence before this Parliament Committee on Statutory Bodies and State Enterprises. The evidence you will give before this committee will be on oath or affirmation and must be truthful in terms of the oath or affirmation you shall take before the giving of your evidence. You have the option to swear to oath on the Bible or Quran by putting your left hand on the Bible and or Quran and with your right hand raised. Or you may opt to make an affirmation if you object to the first oath and declare as follows. Kindly indicate the option you are electing.
It's an oath with the Bible.
Yes. Raro Emakadi now. How do Malano? One Salamora, I was in your full names. I, full names,
Olivile Zogi Matlapezi Sikwani,
do hereby swear that
do hereby swear that
the evidence I shall give before this committee
the evidence I shall give before this committee
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing else but the truth.
and nothing else but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. Thank you. What you shall for? O kana still saka le goro o dire sentele. I
you are person of him.
do hereby swear that
You hear that
the evidence I shall give before this committee
the evidence I shall give before this committee
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing else but the truth.
and nothing else but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. I
Makuke Stephen Makuke,
do hereby swear that
do hereby swear that
the evidence I shall give before this committee
the evidence I shall give before this committee
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth, and the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing else but the truth.
and nothing else but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. I,
Peaceful Seleka,
do hereby swear that
do
hereby swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee
the evidence that I shall give before this committee
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing else but the truth.
and nothing else but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ya siamela gore gore ba ba ko morago ba le ha re ba thoka go araba sengwe kana ba thoka go thusa tafole ya pele re tabe bitsa le bona re ba tseisa oath. On behalf of the Statutory Bodies Committee, I welcome you to this committee. Your attendance is highly appreciated. Please note that this examination is part of our Parliament's oversight responsibility. As a result, we welcome your cooperation and thoughtful responses to the members' questions. Members of this committee. I'm now going to invite the accounting officer to present his executive summary. Please limit your presentation to key issues and highlights on the mandate, the BNSC National Sports Council, Finance Commission, financial performance, governance, auditors report, BAWA, PPRA, and other regulators report. Ke a go lenela 15 minutes gore o dire presentation ya gago. Ke nako ya gago, the accounting officer. But that's a whole truth.
Thank you, Chair, and all members. Let me start with a disclaimer. I'm the new CEO of the BNSC, 4 months into the job, and I'll be relying on my team on a number of issues,
I think I should buy a 4 months.
Oh, okay. I think I understand what you are saying.
Okay.
Mr. Aaron, Honorable Aaron. Okay, I was just driving a point to say I'm newly appointed CEO of the commission, and so I'll be relying mostly on my colleagues who have been there, but I'm not distancing myself from my responsibilities. I am the accounting officer in good standing. Thank you.
How new are you?
At 4 months.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't get that. Thank you.
Oh, okay, okay. Yes. Can I proceed? Okay. The Botswana National Sports Commission is a statutory body established under the BNSC Act number 30 of 2014, succeeding the former BNSC, succeeding the Botswana National Sports Council. The commission is mandated to regulate, coordinate, promote and develop sport in Botswana while ensuring that sport contributes to national development, youth empowerment, health outcomes, social cohesion and economic growth. The commission therefore supports national sport associations, elite athletes, grassroots development programs, sport infrastructure, hosting of events and governance systems across the national sporting sector. This report provides a comprehensive executive summary of BNSC performance, financial accountability, audit outcomes, projects, legal matters, challenges, and strategic priorities for the period under review. I shall now go to the mandate of the Commission, the core mandate of the Commission. Promotion and development of sport at all levels, regulation and coordination of organized sport in Botswana, funding and oversight of national sport associations, athlete identification and elite performance support, construction, maintenance, and management of sport facilities, hosting of local, regional, and international events, promotion of sport as an economic sector in advancing inclusion of women, youth, and persons with disabilities in sport. The Commission's strategic vision is sport for all, for excellence and prosperity. I shall now go to strategic performance and achievements. So we have Vision 28 strategic framework, which the BNSC then operates through the Vision 2028 strategic plan, implemented through annual performance plans and Olympics cycle planning. Implementation phases included 2013 to 2016, 2017 to 2020, 2021 to 2024, and 25 to 28, the current cycle, which is the last cycle of the strategic plan. The strategy is operationalized through annual performance plans. Now I go to the strategic vision, which is sport for all, for excellence and prosperity, whose mission says to lead, develop, implement an innovative sport delivery system that promotes participation and excellence. And then the core strategic objectives of the Commission. The strategy focuses on improving athlete performance, increasing contribution of sport to society and economy, improve hosting of high-profile events, develop and implement sport facility master plan, improve maintenance of facilities, increase internally generated income, and improve mass participation and inclusion. The strategy performance highlights. During implementation, notable progress included athlete outcomes, Olympic Games, the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, where we managed a bronze medal in the men's 4 by 400 meters relay, and we were ranked 86th. And then we went to Paris 2024 Olympics, where we managed to get 2 medals, 1 gold for 200 meters, Letsile Tebogo, and 1 silver men's 4 by 4 relay. And there we were ranked 55. And then World Athletics Relays 2024 in Bahamas, gold medal, ranked 2nd. And then we went to Guangzhou 2025, where we were ranked number 9 with a bronze medal. In Budapest 2023 World Athletics Senior Championships, we got 2 medals, silver and bronze. And then in 2025 Tokyo, Japan, 3 medals, ranked 5th. In football, men's national team qualified for the AFCON 2025. This was the 2nd after the 2012 appearance. And then the women's national team, the men's, achieved back-to-back WAFCON qualification in 2022 and 2025. In terms of event hosting achievements, Botswana further strengthened its reputation as a host nation for sport by staging events such as Africa Netball, hosted in 2024, Davis Cup, hosted in 2025, Africa Youth Table Tennis, hosted in 2024, whilst also securing the rights to host the World Athletics Relays, which were recently held in Botswana on on the 2nd and 3rd of May. And then I go to the programs and capital projects of the Commission. Sport development programs. The Commission continued to implement programs aimed at mass participation, youth development, and elite athletes progression. We have a program called BOTSWANA. It is a program which remains one of the flagship grassroots programs targeting children from the age of 5 to 15 years. During the period under review, the program recorded 3,424 participants across 32 centers nationwide and covered 15 sporting codes. In 2022, the program secured 6 million sponsorship from BOTSWANA over a period of 3 years. The program continues to play an important role in talent identification and youth engagement. And then we have what you call CSEs, Centers of Sport Excellence, school-based talent program supporting high potential athletes. There's a budget from 2021 to 2025. I don't know if I should, or should I just, I think you have you are able to see the budget there. I will go to the achievements, including upgraded facilities at selected centers, full-time coaches funded in priority sports, produced athletes progressing to national teams. This is the CSEs. And then we have a program called Matlhago Latsela. Matlhago Latsela School Sport Revival Program was another significant intervention. During the 2024-2025 financial year, government allocated 55 million for this program. As at April 2025, participation had reached 39,851 learners across 262 primary schools and 98 secondary schools, supported by 3,210 volunteer teacher coaches. This program has become an important mechanism for restoring school sport pathways and strengthening future talent pipelines. And then we go to the elite athlete support. The Commission also continued to invest in elite athlete pathways through the Elite Scholarship Program. The program assists young sportsmen and women aged 21 years and below in partnership with the Ministry of Higher Education. 154 athletes have been supported since inception, with 34 athletes currently enrolled. The Zebras Athletes Fund also continued to support high-performance athletes with medal potential. And there's a chart for expenditure for the elite support from 2021 to 2025. I will move on to capital projects, starting with Masunga Stadium refurbishment. In Masunga, there was refurbishment works, namely buildings, electrical debushing, and plumbing, which were completed in 2025 February at a cost of 2,178,483 TEBE. This excludes track and artificial turf maintenance, which are a bit costly. If you look at the turf only, it would cost you around 5.5 million, and then the track about 15 million. But we have not included it in this refurbishment for Masunga. Radisele Junior Secondary School Sports Project is a CSE. At Radisele Junior Secondary, a project comprising a hard volleyball court, beach volleyball court, and 2 ablution blocks was completed at an estimated cost of 4.5 million. Then we go to the National Stadium, the track refurbishment. The National Stadium in Gaborone athletics track refurbishment was undertaken in 2 phases, with the main contract valued at 16,438,520 TEBE, and remedial works amounting to 9,630,352 TEBE. The facility has since been certified as a World Athletics Class Track 2. That is the National Stadium, which recently hosted the World Athletics Relays. We go to the University of Botswana warm-up track, which was compulsory recently for as a warm-up pitch for the athletics relays that we held. The University of Botswana warm-up track was completed at a cost of 15,734,872.54 TEBE in preparation for future international events such as the one that I've just mentioned. And then we have the BNSC Land Master Plan. The master plan was completed at a cost of 1,328,200 pula, providing a long-term framework for land utilization and infrastructure planning. This is the master plan for the BNSC land around Notwani, Avani, going up to Sekitumile Hospital. It's 100-hectare land that the BNSC owns. And I don't know if I must articulate on the income. I think you have a chart there. You look at it. Let me just go through the presentation. The Commission's financial performance. The Commission's financial performance over the period of 2021 to 25 reflects a steady growth in both revenue generation and program expenditure. driven largely by increased government grant and expansion of sporting activities and development programs. Total income grew significantly from approximately 96.2 million in 2021 to a peak of 192.6 million in 2024, before it moderated to 164.1 million in 2025. The growth was primarily supported by increased grants from government, which rose from 88 million in 2021 to 179.4 in 2024, while operational income also improved gradually over the years. On the expenditure side, total spending increased from 78 million in 2021 to 182.6 million in 2024, before declining to 157.4 in 2025. The increase in expenditure was attributable to growth in operational costs, expanded support to national sport associations, and increased funding towards special projects and major sporting programs. NSA distributions more than doubled during this period, rising from 19.3 million in 2021 to 44.6 million in 2025, demonstrating BNSC's continued commitment towards sport development and athlete support. Similarly, expenditure on special projects grew substantially, reflecting increased investment in strategic sporting initiatives and international events, such as the ones I've just mentioned, Yaka World Relays preparations. Despite the significant growth in operational activities and program expenditure, the Commission mandated a positive financial position throughout the 5-year period, recording annual surpluses each year. However, the surplus margins narrowed considerably compared to the earlier years, declining from 18.2 million in 2021 to 3.5 million in 2023, before recovering modestly in 2024 and 2025. This trend indicates increasing pressure on operational sustainability as expenditure continues to grow to outpace revenue growth in certain areas. Overall, the financial trends reflect an institution undergoing substantial expansion in program delivery and operational responsibilities, while still maintaining prudent management and positive operating results. The internally generated revenue. The Commission continues to strengthen internal revenue generation as part of its broader financial sustainability strategy. Revenue generated for the period of 21-25 demonstrated a steady post-pandemic recovery, with significant growth achieved in the last 3 financial years. Total internally generated revenue amounted to 2,053,614.76 TEBE in 2021-2022 financial year, 4,080,876.64 in 2022-2023 financial year, 4,862,695.59 in 2023-2024 financial year, and 4,982,965.24 in 2024-2025 financial year. This reflects an overall increase of approximately 143% between 2021-2022, 2024-2025, indicating strong recovery and improved commercial performance over the review period. Revenue composition. The Commission's internal revenue was generated primarily from the following: stadia facility bookings, gym subscriptions, athletes village accommodation and bookings, property rental, including Avani Garden, BNSC awards income, and advertising and billboard rentals. External auditors' reports. The Commission's annual financial statements for the review period were independently audited and by reputable audit firms, PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, and Baker Tilly, Botswana. Across the reporting period, the Commissions consistently received unqualified audit opinions. These opinions confirm that the financial statements fairly presented in all material respects the financial position, financial performance, and cash flows of the Commission in accordance with international financial reporting standards. The recurring unqualified opinions are significant as they demonstrate reliable accounting records and adherence to recognized standards, effective governance, oversight, and responsible stewardship of public funds. Internal audit report. The internal audit report function operates independently and reports functionally to the board through Finance and Audit Committee. Its mandate includes providing assurance over governance, internal controls, risk management, and compliance. During the period under review, internal audit examined procurement systems, asset management, financial controls, performance management, oversight of national sport associations, revenue controls, and other operational areas. The Botswana Accountancy Oversight Authority also did a review of the Commission's governance system. 11 governance findings were identified. Of these, 8 have been implemented, while 3 remain outstanding or partially implemented. Internal audit report. Sorry? Okay. Let me go to legal matters and conclusion. During the review period, the Commission engaged external legal counsel to manage litigation, contractual matters, governance, advisory work, and enhancement actions were required. Total legal expenditure for the period 2021-2025 amounted to 521,963.94. Annual legal costs for the period were as follows. There's a chart therefore, and in conclusion, the BNSC remains a strategically important national institution entrusted with advancing sport as a vehicle for national development, social cohesion, youth empowerment, and economic opportunity. During the period under review, the Commission continued to deliver measurable value through strengthened programs, improved governance systems, infrastructure investment, and notable international sporting success. The report demonstrates that the BNSC has maintained sound financial management practices, consistent annual reporting, recurring unqualified external audit opinions, active internal oversight mechanisms, and continued implementation of governance improvements. At the same time, the Commission expanded grassroots participation, supported elite athlete development, and strengthened NSAs and delivered projects that enhances the country's sporting infrastructure. While the challenges remain, particularly in relation to sustainable funding, revenue diversification, aging facilities, and rising high-performance sport demands, the overall trajectory of the BNSC is one of recovery, progress, and institutional strengthening. With continued government support and your support as Parliament particularly, and strategic investment, the BNSC is well positioned to consolidate recent gains, deepen socio-economic contribution of sport, and elevate Botswana's standing as a competitive and respected sporting nation regionally and internationally. I thank you, Chairman, and your team.
Thank you so much, sir. Honorable Frenzel.
Honorable Chair, and thank you so much for that presentation. CEO, I want to know your contribution to reducing youth unemployment through sports, school sports, and related activities. Your contribution to reducing that. Can you specifically clarify why we have experienced a non-compliant running track at the National Stadium? Did you get the question?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Come again.
Can you specifically clarify why we have experienced a non-compliant running track at the National Stadium? And what measurable indicators does the Commission use to assess progress against statutory mandate, and which of these targets were met?
Can you rephrase that one?
What measurable indicators does the Commission use to assess progress against its statutory mandate, and which of these targets were met? How has the Commission ensured progress towards its gender equity target of 10% increase in women's sports participation? Women's sports, I mean, clarify sentence women's sports leader. And what is the status of the renovations? What is the status of the renovations at the National Stadium, Obet Itani Chulume Stadium, Cisco Francistown, and Molepolole Sports Complex? And have they been delivered within the 2025 timelines? And how far are you with the Makwala Stadium, the long-awaited Makwala Stadium in Totome? Salu to the Maria Zile, Maria Shift, Ivaileka, I see to Equa, but already Utolion to hit the Kaione, the Makwala Stadium, we go to Totome. And school sports, salary, ma, Huira Halajangaton, in your challenges for school sports, Sans and Albert Hadiwata, who Hudra Halajang. Aner taibona isimolola in near future kana revedi togoya na batse mogoyon. And the other thing signi watakana awe go New Zealand the match into rugby go America basketball rona I think uruna mo Botswana mabelo ko ane mamman and haraka kira bara ratso mo go yeo so lira go le kae go bona gore le godisa mabelo the whole country. Isingana motho ya ka gompie kwana ga re itse ke batla re ruto gore leader jang go ba godisa since re sena school sports go bona gore re ba tsa from grassroots re ira go le kae go bona gore ra ba godisa honorable chair ke a leboga.
Honorable Sidobo.
Thank you, Chair. Tsa media go itebaganya le financial performance. In the reporting period of 2024 and 2025, the Commission's losses increased from 1 million to over 8 million. What contributed to this increase? What progress has been made towards implementing the new funding model designed to move beyond traditional subventions? You got it?
What models?
What progress has been made towards implementing the new funding models designed to move beyond traditional subventions? The Public Accounts Committee raised concerns about the accountability on funds given to affiliates of Botswana National Sports Council who do not produce financial reports. Can you confirm when the last annual AGM, annual general meeting of your affiliates was held and the amount of money received from government in the last 5 years. What financial returns can you apportion to successful sports events? What financial returns can you apportion to successful sports events like the recent World Relays? Is that the country ready to host more of these events? Have you tabled annual reports, including financial performance? Statistics to Parliament in the last 5 years is required by the law. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable.
Ke a leboga modulasetilo ke leboge accounting officer. Nna ke batla go itebaganya le tsa corporate governance. Ga o presenta o supile gore the total legal expenditure tsa lona from 2021 to 2025 they amount to 521,963 pula 94 thebe. Mo go supang gore di ha godimonyana. Please explain what preventative measures you have implemented to reduce this cost and risk of being sued in future. The other question will be, what steps were taken to address the administrative challenges and governance lapses identified within some national sports associations? What steps were taken to address the administrative challenges and governance lapses identified within some national sports association? Then the last one will deal with the WADA. Does Botswana have a fully operational World Anti-Doping Agency, compliant national anti-doping program? I so submit, Mr. Chair.
Honorable Kwapa.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My first question, have you been reviewed by BAWA? If so, what ratings did they give you? The second question is, if you have not been reviewed, what governance practices are you following and how have you reviewed your compliance with your adopted governance code? In your statement, CEO, you just stated that BNSC has maintained sound management system and competitive strategy. So my question is, do you have the assets, resources, and other mechanisms to carry out the commitment? And is this informed by your clear intention to carry out the commitment, including a history of adherence to past commitments? And again, are you able to assure this committee of your inability to back down or perceived moral resolve not to back down? And finally, are you able to assure this committee of your ability to detect compliance to the terms of which the equipment refresh. Yeah, we hello, potso ke gore. There was this launch here, sports good quilling. Potso ame ke gore how far ka ke latedisene botswa ke honorable friends, how far ka yone ka gore ke dumela gore ke gone ko talent re bonang teng le gone ko dikweleng. Potso ya bohellohelo be nna gone goreng a kganye le ma-teachera a leng gore are qualified to train sports, have you resolved it? And if not, why? E be hela bohello nna gone goreng a gone mme batshamekile ba duela sentle ka nako. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, me le nna ke thaeta ka tsengwe taba ke hetsa ke dipotsa before re tswala kana ora re go ntse go sena board ne ke batla go itse gore pele ga le nna le board ke mana manager the governance issues le gore go lebega o ka re bomme mo sportsing go ba simolotsa go a ko tlase le mo administrationeng hela both ba batshameki le ba mo administrationeng gore mathata ha ka le gore le dirang gore le ba ke seemo sa teng ye ngwe ke buleng ke ba kaulong ya gore ke re tshwenyegile thata ka go bala go di sports school sports gore ha o ka tlhalosa status sa teng gore tere batho ba itse gore di tla boela le national teams players welfare gore le ba thokomela yang le ba empower yang e seng ba football le ba tse dingwe e ngwe ke gore ke mo ka re na le batshameki ba tabogi ba le bantsi ba ba testam positive on doping le gore what measures are there in place gore di addressa seemo sa teng ke tsone tsa me tsa ntlha tseo a go ra ke ra kwa lona a ke re wa itse gore ga go arabiwa ga o na le tse dingwe o di ba neele se ka le thusaneng tiro e nne.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I get sorry. But let me start kaya gago ya bohelo ya tse dingwe ba ka ulung ba tla nthusa. Well, no bua kaya body chair. Ke simolla ka yone. We've not had a board in the past 2 months. Our board was dissolved 2 months ago by the minister after carefully considering, I don't know what he looked at, but he dissolved the board. And so in the absence of that board, I report to the minister directly. But of course, the minister will delegate, I think it's the PS, because operationally, that's the person we deal with on a weekly basis. So in the absence of that board, we work with the PS and her deputies. And I can assure you, the minister is busy with the process of compiling a list for the new board, which will be announced, obviously, after discussions with the Office of the President. So we've been reporting to the PS or the minister through the PS. And then you asked about the number of women reducing in sport administration. I don't think that is the correct view. In fact, we have noticed a significant growth in terms of women participation in sport administration, especially new faces.
as I said, I'm 4 months into the job, and I've seen a number of new names emerging in sport administration, and I can tell you that the next 10 years will be dominated by women in terms of sport administration. I don't think that is a true reflection of what is happening. Even in our appointments of committees, we emphasize the need to have women representatives. I'll give an example of the new Tafisa board. It's about to be announced by the minister. There's a number of women in the board. Yeah. So I'm reasonably happy with the progress in terms of women appointments in sport administration. We are just about to announce for the AUSC Region 5 delegation is led by a woman. As I said, it's new women coming up, so or new faces coming up in across the board, whether it's football, safeguarding. A number of women are emerging in that aspect, and whether it's medicine, you go to the associations, you find doctors who are women or female. So there's completely new array of women coming up in sports administration. And then I will leave the one here. Wada to my colleague, Mr. Sileka. And then school sport. You've mentioned, a number of you have talked about school sport. I think we all agree as a nation, as a country, that school sport is really the foundation of sport development in the country. And there's a trajectory that we all know, and we've been successful because of school sport, and efforts are being made to make sure that we return school sports. I'm very sure that the minister responsible, together with his colleagues, the Minister of Basic Education and the Minister of Higher Education, they are busy engaged with the issue of school sport together with the unions, because Ghana, this thing is not only for the sport ministry. It includes teachers and teachers who are also unionized, and discussions are ongoing. And I don't think we will wait more time in terms of announcement in that regard. It's unfortunate there was a launch in Lobatse of the school sport, but as things happened, it didn't happen the way we envisaged, but discussions are ongoing. It looks like there will be an announcement in due course to make sure that we return school sport. And I'm also inclined to say, under the current economic conditions, a lot of things were halted because of the issues of finance. As you see, we had the Matlaholatila, which was an intervening mechanism to try and bridge the gap in the absence of school sport, which really helped. But due to resource constraints, most of these things do not simply because you are dealing with a very, very minuscule budget. But the challenges and the demands of sport globally continue to grow. Mr. Honorable Kwapana Botsahori, do we have the resources? We have the appetite and the ambition to do more in terms of our commitment to the country and the nation.
because we have an obligation to deliver sports. But resources are always a problem, Honorable Kwapa. But I think we've demonstrated, especially looking at the recently ended spectacle sa World Relays, with more resources. But you could tell it is largely due to issues not about their talent or so. With the resources, we can do much better than what we are achieving. But I've also mentioned Paris 2024 and other events where we managed to salvage a medal or two, despite the financial constraints that we operate under. Youth empowerment, women. Honorable Frenzel was worried about whether we continue to support all the NSCs. That we have about 38 NSCs, and in these 38 NSCs, the women are spread across, whether it's football, the mass. We continue to support them, Honorable Frenzel. But the truth is that our subvention continues to decline. Of course, understanding the financial and the economic situation of the country. Whilst the subvention declines, the sporting demands continue to increase. So it's a catch-22 situation. It's a dilemma that we find ourselves in. But with the support of Parliament, with the support of the private sector, as we demonstrated in the recently held World Relays, the Diamond Hub came to our rescue, and we were able to pull off a spectacle. But we continue to support all sporting codes, and we've created a number of jobs for some have become millionaires because of the support that we continue to give. There's tiers. There's 4 tiers that we have as a sports council or sports commission. Obviously, you'll find your football, your athletics, your table tennis, and others. Even in terms of support, because and I don't think they have disappointed. Because it is never enough. If you take a code like football, it's a very capital intensive enterprise. So you need a lot of money to be in that space.
Chair. Honorable Chair.
Yes.
Ne gona le sengwe se ne ke batla go se follow-isa on. A ke tsore gone mo go tsena bogolo ya school sports.
Yes.
Yeah. Nka tsena.
No, ka tsena.
Oh, okay. Yeah, me ke a go utlwa me ga ke go utwe. Ke go utwe sentle. Ha ke re kana BNSC is the supreme authority when it comes to sports in the country. Jaanong ga re bua ka school sports e bile re bona gore rotlhe re dumalana gore sport se ka gola ga e le gore school sports di operational and di effective. Ga se ke te ke utwe gore a me lona le that authority e go godimo le hatse. Do you really have a long-term financial and operational strategy? Sa gore golo mo go te go ne sustainable lona le isile go se le se rekisetsang one Ministry wa Basic Education and Skills Development. If you develop that, I think you also aware. I agree you should be aware of the why come for these schools supposed to collapse. You should be at that level. Mela iti Ghana school sports has collapsed because of extra duty and overtime disputes between trade teacher unions and teachers in the ministry. By now, I think what is a binding framework that you could come up with? I think if you how katalosa Lady Raja, why this thing collapsed, and it's up to you as the authority now to develop systems and frameworks that can sustain the operational of and functionality of sports. Lona le direi kana le lona ya ka le ile boikarabelo jwa go ntsha sports a tsama tshwanetse re le teka mananeo a be la rekisetsa le yone ministry ya leboga.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Hukwam. Kana ke yone field ya gago ya di union le teaching. A kitso re minister wa go tlogeletseng mo gore nka ba go tsentse mo tsone dipuisanyo tsa school sport, because I think it's a very sensitive issue. Why it's Mr. Hukwama. We have given our input, really, BNSC, a comprehensive input in terms of how we envisage this to happen. But because there are other role players, and I wouldn't want to fly there, I want to say, can we for now leave it to, because I sense that something is coming out very soon, positive in that respect. Talks are at the very, very end. So let make iskaka senyetsa di comrades tsa gago. We all agree barotle school sport is the foundation of sport in this country. Even in the region, we know countries that have prioritized school sport. Now where we've been, it was, empirically, it was because of school sport. Yeah, thank you. Make a hella in that respect.
Ke a leboga che go ke tlhaloganye sengwe ke utile o bua ka tsela dingwe tse ile gore la di dira mo dikolong kana go rotloetsa the youth. Ke tlhaloganye gore how spread are your programs with countrywide. Gongwe ke tlhaloganye gore ngwana o tswang ko eta kana ko caca le dira ja gore ba benefite gone mo go le go bitsa bo re ba bona ha le bo mathagola tsela o ke dio tsa ko south hela ya ka gongwe banna ba kwa ka ngwa ya le gore go ba maru go le kae gore any youth o ile gore wa thagoga if as mo ditlabong go ile hela lo ka ene gore can never reach the national level. Ha ile gore go wa maruri gore bana ba ile gore ba reach di national level ke ba ditlabo tsonetse di ana me go le ka hele le Botswana bo re lebile gore re batla gore talent re ya gore talent eo teng le gore mo lehatsheng e kgone gore benefit le gore go tlhokana leng le thusa ja bogolo ja gongwe ko north. I want to be very specific. The Okavango in the northwest region ke di ka he ditlabo tse ile gore di rotloetsa that kind of talent. Ke a leboga.
Rale, Dr. Agri is a new question. Yet, let's a million. So, let's all tell you what's and silly back in the Yarabel Yarabe comprehensively.
Okay, I think Director for Sports Development,
Thank you, Honorable Chair, and thank you, Honorable, for the questions. And let me start with the one raised by Honorable Aaron. What are you doing, or what are our programs covering to cater for all the kids across the country? We have various programs, like the COS already mentioned. We have a grassroots program, which is spread across the country, not in every village or every settlement, but it's found in various regions, Okavango included. As far as Boshakawe, we have Ribabona centers that were athletics, Kumare, and that's our catchment area for elite athletes. If you look at the crop that we have currently, mobile athletics, volleyball, it's dominated by athletes from the north. Yes, statistics. We have Aaron, Honorable Aaron. There's a team, volleyball, that is constituted by 60% of athletes who are coming from the. Oh, sorry. Yeah, constituted by 60% of athletes who are coming from Gumare village. Because again, Gumare, it's a center, Gumare or Okavango CGSS, that is situated in Gumare. It's a center of excellence because it was strategically placed as a center of excellence, having noted that the caliber of or the anthropometrics of the kids that we find in that area. So we made it a center of excellence, and another thing, they end up in the national teams. We have one, for example, Elton Elias is currently in the beach volleyball national team. Is competing, has been to Angola, Mozambique, across. We have many of them in the national teams. Hela, just to cover it all, programs are our centers of excellence are spread across, not in all the areas, but Masunga, Francistown, Good Hope, Gaborone, and of course Leko Gumar. And then we have Tonebo, Borebabonaha. Rebabona is even more spread. Kobo Juane, you find them. Kobo Tsabo, Mbohansi, we have centers, Honoko. And then Banaba, again, for centers of excellence, national sport associations, they identify these kids from anywhere across the country, and then they are placed in one school. For example, if they were the center of softball in Good Hope, we have Banababatwang as far as Kasan, who have been identified there as good softballers, and they are placed in Gumar, very far from their village. They are placed there because they have been identified to be potential athletes. And we have, it's like that across all the centers of excellence. It doesn't only focus on the urban areas, but it looks where the talent is. But most importantly, Banaba Ronaba and wherever talented most sporting, they are coming from the northern part of our country. Honorable Kanche, how are we catering for our national team welfare? In 2022, there was a policy that was approved by our ministry, incentives policy that covers all the sporting codes or all the athletes, regardless of the sport that you play. So it depends. It's an open check for an athlete. It has different levels of incentives. If you go all the way to the world level or to the Olympics, that I say it's an open check. If you get a medal at the Olympics, you get a 2-bedroom house. if you get a gold there, you get a 2-bedroom house plus a 200,000 pula on top of that. But if you regionally, in there, size you get over 10,000 pula for gold medals and going down there. So even it's designed so that it benefits all sports. Before we didn't have team sports, football or softball, volleyball. It's difficult to reach the World Cup or the world stage or the Olympic stage. So the policy has also been designed so that it benefits whenever team sport. You find that even for a football team, there's an incentive for a draw. Hatimi draw 1-1, there's an incentive for that. There's an incentive for a win. Not to win the tournament, but if they play the qualifier, AFCON, they have an incentive for that. It was holistically covering the athletes who are able to cover it. So this policy covers all. It's not meant for football or for athletics alone. It covers all the sporting associations that are affiliated with the Botswana National Sport Commission. And then also there was an issue of testing of our athletes testing positive. It's a concern, and it's a great concern for us as the Commission and the country. And the measures that we are doing is to increase education, doping. And we are doing that through our National Anti-Doping Agency that is housed at Botswana National Olympic Committee currently. Partly I'm answering Honorable Arone, do we have a full WADA office in Botswana? We don't have that yet, but we have a National Anti-Doping Office that still operates. Greatly that we have now the anti-doping bill that has been approved by Parliament recently. And now it leads to us having a full anti-doping office in Botswana that will actually take care of these issues that we are concerned about. But the education, the introduction of a safeguarding officer in every national team that we're having, because we hear stories that we cannot ascertain or give Nathan. There might be some foul play during the camps. Those are hearsays. I cannot prove them. But now we have introduced the safeguarding officers in all national teams so that they safeguard against any ill things that could happen during the camps. Those are some of the measures that we have been doing to avert this issue. Doping. And then partly COO Arabile women participation. The measures that we have been doing as the Commission to ensure increased participation of women. In 2024, we made sure that all SMS as a compliance for all national sport associations, they should have women commission. Or that's a compliance. As a national sport association, you should have a women's commission. That women's commission is driving to have more women participation. Of course, not all the NSAs now they have the women's commission, but we are enforcing because now we are saying it should be a compliance issue. We are trying to drive that women participation. We have the Women Sport Botswana, which is a body that is mandated to also drive the issues or matters of women in sport. We have, in the past financial years, we have been increasing their grant or their allocation so that they can deal with these matters of women participation, do women leadership programs so that we attract a lot of women in sport. And just some 2 years back, there was a sexual harassment policy that was approved and implemented. Another measure to try to reduce this abuse of women in sport, because that was one thing that was chasing women from participation in sport because some were sexually abused. So we introduced that policy, sexual harassment, so that we avert these issues of women being abused. We also introduced the policy, diversity and inclusion, so that women and people with disability or disadvantage, they are included in every activity that we do. And we have introduced some quotas in some like in our games, our leadership of our games. Harele team Botswana re ya konte. Ona le go teng ke chef de mission le general team manager. Nowadays it cannot be only men who lead our. It should be a man and a woman. If the man is a chef, the woman is a general team manager. If the woman is a chef, then the man will be a general team manager. So we cannot have men leading the team. So it should be a man and a woman. And in all our teams, for the games that we organize as the commission, so that's our AUC Region 5, we make sure that there's women inclusion. In the leadership of the team, there should be a woman. It's a requirement. It's not what you can avoid. So those are the measures. Honorable friends, progress in women. I guess already in women sport. I think I've covered it. How do we grow athletes, especially in athletics? We grow them through these programs, where especially athletics, because it's currently placed at tier 1. Tier 1, according to our tier system, in terms of resource allocation, they get better resource allocation or better resources, because we know in terms of output, they are the ones that will drive us to achieve our strategy, Vision 2028, that's targets to have the 5 Olympic gold medals by 2028. So we support them through funding them through their Babonaha program. They are also part of the Centers of Excellence. They are part of the elite scholarship. There are some of the athletes that are in the elite scholarship program. And there's also the Zebra Athletes Fund that covers all the athletes from any athlete of any tier, irregardless that you are in tier 4 or tier 3. If you are identified to be a potential athlete, you can be enrolled in Zebra Athlete Fund. That fund helps that athlete to continue to train and compete towards podium finish. So those are the other measures that we put in place to ensure that athletes' welfare is covered. I think those are the ones that I was supposed to cover, unless I would have.
A quick follow-up on what he has just said. Is there a strict adherence to the commitment they know? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. It's what we emphasize. The challenge that we sometimes have, because at national sport associations, we have administrators who are volunteers administering the sport association or matters of the sport association. Then we have the athletes who are the beneficiaries. By law, the beneficiaries. And sometimes the administrators, they don't comply in terms of compliance. Whomever they don't submit their activity plans well in time so that they could be funded. We have the right to punish them, but sometimes we are lenient, because if we punish them, we are not actually punishing the administrators, we are punishing the athlete who doesn't have a say in this conversation. Who doesn't, because if it's the commission and the association leaders, it's us there as administrators. And then if we take decisions, we should be mindful that decisions that we take might affect the athletes. But I'm not suggesting that we should not take decisions that are supposed to be taken because measures have been put in place. The measures that we are putting in place, it's a great concern to all of us that we don't see our athletes, we don't want to see our athletes continue to test positive. And what we are doing currently is to increase the education of doping, because annually, Bawada wants a list of prohibited substances. We enforce through our National Anti-Doping Agency to keep in during the national team camps, to keep educating our athletes. Because, you know, our athletes, sometimes they can be given that list. Sometimes they are lazy, or should I say, for lack of a better word, lazy to read. So to make things easier, we need somebody to be telling them that these are things that you are supposed to do and that you are not supposed to do. And for our top athletes, those ones we make, because whenever they are tracked, they are supposed to lock their whereabouts every time, because they can be tested at any time. So we make sure that they provide the information of their whereabouts, because if you don't provide that information, you are in a way suggesting that you are hiding something. So that we are always ensuring that they provide their whereabouts, so that if they need to be tested, because they can be tested anyway. Even la local farm, test. So that's what is happening with the anti-doping. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to respond to questions with respect to facilities from Honorable Frenzel, and one with respect to strategies around revenue generation or diversification, if I got the question right. What are we doing in terms of diversifying our income streams away from reliance on subvention? So I'll respond to those questions. Chair, the first question was with respect to the track at the National Stadium. What are the specific issues that caused it not to comply? I think that was the question. Yeah. Where we stand now, honorable members, the National Stadium track has been accredited by World Athletics and is certified as a Class 2 athletics facility, which means it complies to international standards. But the project of the track did not start because there was an event. It started because the track has outlived its life from the beginning. That's where the project started. It was due for refurbishment or reconstruction. And one of the key issues, honorable members, that causes a stress to the track is the major events that are go National Stadium. The major culprits being the BDF Day, Police Day, and Independence Day. Because by all standards, by all means, we should never use vehicles on the track. May you'll note what BDF Day, Police Day, those are the big culprits in damaging our track. And you'll note what home people, maybe they will come to you. Police Day, I know last year we push, but I know we will be under pressure. But this is the problem. This is the problem. So where we are, and thank you for everybody's support. We certified, and with the recent information, it's classified as one of the best tracks in the world, Harlem Day. So thank you for your support. In terms of the other question, Honorable Frenzel, you referred to issues around the status of the stadium, especially National Stadium, Obetitani, Molepolole, and we also wanted to know progress around Makwala Stadium. So National Stadium, we continually make routine maintenance. We've now done a major maintenance of the National Stadium, and we believe it's where it should be. But gotta make maintenance away. The time you stop maintenance, then you are creating a backlog, or it will catch up with you. So we continue to do routine maintenance. And National Stadium has been attended to in preparation for the World Relays. In terms of Ebetithani, I don't know if the question also, I was trying to read the question, also referred to CAF compliance. Because the good talk are over CAF compliance. Or it is qualified. Maybe I must also address that. We only have Ebetithani Stadium as a stadium that is CAF compliant to hold Category 3 matches, which is the international matches. The other stadium, which is Lobatse National Stadium, they can only have Category 1 and 2, which is the club level. They are not qualified for CAF. And it's because of the status in which they are or the design elements of the stadium. National Stadium, in a lot of requirements for it to comply to Category 3. And those are design issues. How level our team waiting rooms, by law and requirement of CAF, VIP. The tunnel should be VIP. I just want to so there's a lot of modifications that are required for National Stadium. Lobatse Leone, in a lady issue. But we believe Lobatse there's less work for Lobatse to get it to comply. So there's a program we requested for funding from government for Ratende Lobatse so that it can comply. Stadium you will note around 2023, Leone Francis Town failed. And we had to go all out to refix it so that it complies. So if it fails, then we have a challenge. The current work of Francis Town, there is a project to put the rooftop of Francis Town. What that means, when you put a rooftop of Francis Town, it means you are going to close it for construction. When we close it for construction, it means we don't have a Category 3 facility. So the discussion is around, we must fix Lobatse first, so that Lobatse qualifies, so that when we go to Francistown and do a rooftop, then we have an alternative venue that can host Category 3 matches. Otherwise, we are going to be like other countries. Zimbabwe is using our facility. Namibia is using our Francistown facility. Leronar Katswala Francistown is an alternative facility. We are going to have to go outside the country. So those are the dynamics. So the need to get Lobatse to be a Category 3 facility before we do the rooftop in Francistown. In terms of Molepolole, our priority now, which is in this financial year, we are going to fix the artificial turf for Molepolole. The issue is we want to offload pressure from the National Stadium in terms of Premier League games. The artificial turf is worn out for Molepolole and obviously and the track. But we managed to secure funding, although it's captured at the ministry, artificial turf. Similarly, Masunga, this financial year will be doing the artificial turf Masunga, so that we offload pressure from Francistown Stadium, but resell Masunga. Because Ghana is the only facility. If you overuse it, then it loses the quality that it should stay with. So those are the major issues. And then one of the members, the community stadium, they are managed by the ministry. They are not handed over to BNSC. For now, we are managing 7 facilities, which is Lobatse National Stadium, Ebetithani, Masunga, Serowe, Molepolole, and Maungu. Those are the facilities that are under the ambit of the commission. All other community facilities, they are under the ministry as we speak. So the Tabori Makwala is a Makaiwana minister, you essentially the ministry, Kiwana Analytica Rabotayone. And then I think I've covered that. Honorable Sendombo, your question around funding model. What are we doing to diversify our income streams? like the CEO said, that we had a project year master plan. Total, our income stream as we speak now is very limited. It's around leasing facilities. That's how we generate money, leasing these facilities. But we know that these facilities are also meant for sports development. So you find already the charges that we charge, they're so minimal because the deal or Habana Mali, our NSAs are battling, they can't pay the market rates that the facility. So the facility are not generating enough revenue that can make us sustainable. So it's imperative that we come up with measures that will diversify our income stream. We have a piece of land around the National Stadium area. That area has got 100 hectares of land around the National Stadium. We've master planned that area so that we can commercialize some of the parcels, land parcels around the stadium for income generation as part of our real estate portfolio development. So the master plan it's been approved. It's passed all the stages, approved by the Gaborone City Council, approved by the board and submitted to the ministry. We are currently implementing the master plan as part of our drive to generate our own sustainable revenue. So, Honorable Minister, you might have noted even as recently, we had an expression of interest to develop a modern retail mall, Hanotwani grounds, in a shopping center. The tender just closed yesterday, yeah. So those are some of the developments that we are doing. We have sites for filling stations that we are hoping out to private sector so that we generate our own sustainable revenue. So those are the initiatives that we've put in place. Following this master plan, we realized that Ghana as a commission, our core is sports development, and we don't want to find ourselves migrating from that core, now running with commercialization. Neglect our core. So based on that model, we have proposed form a subsidiary company that will deal specifically with income and investments for the commission. That process was initiated and approved by the board. At the time the board was dissolved, the company was at a formation stage. We already had a reserved name with SIPA. So our body will be progressing the discussion around forming the subsidiary company for income and investment management of the commission, which will drive more around revenue generation, sustainable revenue generation. I think those were the major issues around facilities and income, Chair. Thank you so much.
Follow up, Mr. Chairman.
Follow.
Thank you, Your Honor and honorable members. I would like to address the financial issues that have been raised. Honorable Sidombo has raised a question on the losses that were presented in the 2024-2025 financial year. Maybe as a point of correction on our financials, because we receive mostly our revenue as a subvention, so ours is a deficit, not a loss, because if it's a loss now, it gives a different aspect or a different notion to the net. So because of our major revenue be a subvention, this is a deficit. But nonetheless, the deficit is necessitated by three things. One, the reduction in the subvention. You'll note that in 2024, we had a subvention of around 180 million, and that subvention reduced in 2025 to 150 That is a decrease of about 30 million. The second aspect is in 2024, in 2025, despite the reduction in the subvention, our contribution or our disbursement to the national associations increased from 34 million to 45 million. That's about 11 million increase. And also our special projects also increased from 29 million to 50 million. That's another 10,000 increase on the subvention, but there is a reduction on the subvention received. The last one is because of the depreciation, because this is an accounting estimate or accounting provision. So the 13 million accounting provision for depreciation pulls us to a deficit. But if we remove those, the commission would be in a surplus position. I will also address His Honor also raised the question that PAC has observed that some national sport associations, NSAs, do not comply or banale matata. Yes, we have also noted that. That's why we have decided to be, we are the spending authority for the national associations. What we mean is they do provide their requests as and when they need the resources, and we will procure for them and also pay on their behalf, except about two big NSA being football and athletics, that we do support their secretariat with a subvention, but we put checks and balances when we disperse the next allocation. They should have provided a report of the previous subvention utilization. You have also raised the concern whether NSA do have annual general meetings. Yes, as part of our compliance for you to continue benefiting from the NSA allocation, it's a requirement for all NSAs to hold an annual general meeting and also provide their returns from Register of Societies. So those two requirements mandate them to hold annual general meetings annually. You have also asked on whether there is a return on hosting. The answer to that is yes. And there are many aspects of substantiating that answer, one being the financial aspect, the other being other industries that do benefit from us or the BNSC hosting a sports network, being the transport industry, the tourism industry. You note that when these athletes or when we host these events, people do not bring their accommodation. So that accommodation is provided for by BOTSWANA. And the other benefiter is the SMMEs. They also do benefit by conducting their business. But the greatest benefit is the image that Botswana portrays as a host nation. And you also asked if we will want to host in the future. Yes, Your Honor, we still maintain we have the appetite to host funds permitting. We would want to host the AFCON, would want to host Commonwealth Games, would want to host senior athletics championships, and all other major sporty events that we see other people hosting. And then finally, you asked about the statutory reports filing. Yes, like the CEO previously noted, for the period under review, the BNSC has not failed to be audited in any of those years, and we mean external audit, and we have submitted our audits as such as a requirement. The other Honorable Frenzel also asked on the youth unemployment. Like I've indicated earlier, sports on itself is an industry. So as an industry, we have a great potential of reducing youth unemployment. To substantiate this point, maybe we look at the footballing community, where in the Premier League we have 16 teams, and this team has about 40 or so players, and then that you replicate to the 16 teams, and they are required to have a women's team, also the same numbers. They are also required to have a youth team, also you replicate the numbers. If you go to the first division and then you go to the regional structures, you will see that there is a lot of youth that sport contributes to reducing unemployment in that aspect. Thank you, Your Honor.
Follow up because
Yes,
thank
you so much.
Before that, more your finance, I get to cover the legal cost.
Me ma ke hete ka ne ke hete le ruri says that tlotlo re ha o garela o bo garela ke ne ke botsa sentle khante le me ha ke utlwa dikarabo sentle tsa dipotso tsene ke di botsa but ke tla botsa jana jaanong ile a way of following up ke ne ke utlwa le bua gore kana di organizations tse tshwana bo BDF kana bo police during bo BDF day ke batho ba leng gore bona they also contribute mo go senyeng stadium botso ya mela ke gore mo ngwageng tse di tlang re tla bona gona le bo BDFD kana ga bana go nna teng engwe potso e bere ha ke gakologela sentle o itshwela mo stilo ke tla le ka go botsa sentle ke bua ka se ke se bonang ke dumela gore ditshupo tsa mahatshehatse go ne go atle go nne le bo tsone di organization tse di a gone ko mabaleng a ditshupo and batho ba tla ka dipalo re bona bo small men ba benefita mo go rekiseng either mo teng mo distolong le kontle go benefita le borra dipalangwa ka gore na ba tsa setšhaba ba sisa gone mo re go boneng gape go diragala le ko stadium le di-business tsa maroko jalo le tsone di booster ka goreng gore a re bangwe ba tswa ko ba tswang teng ko magaeng kwa ba tla mo ga borone go tla go lebela tsone diutse yaanong ke batla go itse gore mo yone potso e ke botsang gone gore a re tlo go bona le tswelela le dirisana le bone ba ba ga rona ba go ba adima stadium ha ke tswa ba rentisetse kana bone they are not making any money ke dumela jalo ka re itse tiro a bone sentlentle yaanong ke batla go itse gore a le lona la go dira one phoso ene e ke boneng e dirwa ke ba ga rona ba ditshupo tsa mahatshehatse mo e leng gore gompieno ga o ka lebelela dikago tsa bone gone go tshwarela ditshupo teng mo ga borone go setse makgasa hela ke batla go itse gore a ga le bone go na le mosola gore le ka tsena mo dipuisano gore gongwe le bone goreng le ka thusana le bone ka tsela ntseng jang go na le gore gongwe ke utlwe le bua ka re la re le gana ka stadium. Thank you. Ke tsene
just a short one na hetsa ke te tsontsa bohelo gape
no nna ke batla go itse ka ke utlwile le khantele when doing your presentation o supa gore le hasra lona ke 100 square meters, is it 100 square meters? 100 hectares. Go tsenya bo Avani and those other places I get gore le hella ka han. But you are to gore rental ya teng hela because di figure go di ta go ga gona dinga lo le di bue hela gore e tsenya sentente ha ka e ritse hela gore e tsama ha ka e be riana le one collection hela tsone ya ka le bo bone bonwa tsone bo kae collection ya tsone e tsama ka tselenze. And lastly Stilo nna ke fila gore ile ha officer super ha ka khanya ya design a national stadium. I don't think we should bother much. I mean, we should bother ourselves much ka national stadium traffic ya Gaborone gongwe le gongwe go congested a re le ke mahelo a mangwe like go buang ka Lobatse Stadium, let's concentrate go Lobatse Stadium it to say obedi done. I mean, I get gompieno kana ha o wa tswela ona o re tsena mo ma ba re we suffer a lot. What's another one ya ha GICC? What's 30 minutes? So re sonto re bone gore re thusa Gaborone ka tselentsi ya re di event tse dingwe re di ise kwa go mo Lepolole and the other areas. Ya no ke tsa kere a re direng jalo gore go Francis Town Stadium le one ete khepeta bongetsana go dingwe ete tsene go helela. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. Make simuleka ya track ya National Stadium. I don't think where we are, we will be friendly to accepting the BDF to use the National Stadium because of the damage, considerable damage BDF, unless under very strict conditions, because at the end of the day, we are responsible for the facility and they are not. And BDF is not going to come here and appear and answer questions about the National Stadium. So we are asking for your support in that regard. Mr. Kwapa, no botsaka kana ke Mr. Honorable Sidombo ka revenue ka ha re dirang ka te. There's a concern, and I think Parliament must note this concern. The expectation is that the BNSC must generate income through its assets. And then we have an asset like the National Stadium, which really generates income for us. And while that expectation stands, there's also a contradiction in the same, around the same facility. People will come to a member of Parliament to ask the BNSC to release the stadium for a meager fee. So we constantly have to balance these issues. But at the end of the day, we are the ones who come here to account. And then the questions are, you have a big facility like the National Stadium, Lobat, we are unable to be strict in terms of fees because there's pressure coming from you, honorable members, Hamba to stadium. So that's a catch-22 all the time. But to maintain a stadium is not child's play. It's a very expensive exercise. Then there's this thing the stadium is already makasa. It's because this stadium is strictly for rugby or strictly for football. Whether prisons, it's indiscriminate the way we do this thing. And then also, correct BNSC land, Mr. Frenzel. BNSC does not own the land on which Avani sits. Avani Avani as we exit. Car wash as we exit that parking. Sorry? As we exit, how Avani the parking on a pentilonga bunsu. And then also go the spa. Kakumaraho Avani go Mosha Kakwa. So Haro only Avani Gerard Leba Media Gisoro also have a Travari. BNSC owner Avani Mepa Lajoduela Batsamik. So Nigerike get Tlazokatsilentina.
Thank you, Your Honor. To now address the Putotaka Honorable Furniture.
It's a hello.
ke tsa bohelo akere kore yone e o re ga le own abane o ra gore lehelo le mo go lone ga se la lona
mo ithalosisa lefelo la ba ga se la bone ba owna space ga ba tswa ga o tswa mo abalele le ka washing le ka morago ga moša
Chairman kana ne ke batile ga bua ka ya BDF gore ya senya ke batla go itse gore a one ba a duela ha ile gore ba a duela ke le sa ba charge more ka gore ya no le lemogile gore ba a senya that's what I want.
I don't think Rekaba charger because you would have noted the fees that we reconstructed the track cuts on. It's 25 million. I don't think they would be able, your government would be able to pay 25 million to use the stadium for a day. Yeah, but by Duela, of course.
Honorable members, are raising.
Thank you again, honorable members. Honorable Furniture, kuna kila butsaka the legal costs. Yes, the legal costs do not necessarily exist because renali dikgang kana we are about to be sued or any. Some do exist because of the raw nature of our work we do. Yeah, the consultancies like the master plan. We had to incur some legal advice on that. Even managing our contracts, we also incur some legal expenses. And then another one, enkile ya butswa ki Honorable Kwapaya for Bawa ikile review. Yes, we have been reviewed by Bawa, and Bawa issued about 11 actions to be taken, of which 8 redituates and 3 are remaining. The 3 remaining, we undertake to close them in the not so far future because it's to do with the IT policy and then the also the shareholder compact, which we have already submitted to the ministry, and then another one is to create an quality assurance program. Thank you, honorable members.
Me le ke re tswa le nna ka rona se re bolaile kana ka 11 na le ba bangwe gape re le lebogeng o tswela gore nako ya ha le tata ka tse di monate tse di tang ka tsa gompieno tse le gongwe ha le boa di-sports tse ba itse motse ko sekweleng gape ha le tshwara afcona la ja re ka itumela mme hela re bate le go dira ka no gore kilo buka ka bo 60 million go tshwara afcon a go le go dirang afcon hela mme sa kokone le makgetho a batswana gore mpiona bona go sentswe 60 million gore kwa dibuka gore kwa buka ya go tshwara afcon ha o le ba go dikweleng go re tswang teng go mafelong a rona gona ditafola gona la bana ba rutelwang teng ke re a o dirang dilo sente ha ke re lona ke ra gore a re ska ra tshamekisana 60 million o montsi thata gore ka buka go hosta tournament ke a le leboga thank you.
Thank you.
Ehe. Nya mine ke tse sebaka se ke la amogeleng se. Ke na kwa 11:15. Ha re 12:30 sonje be re heditse ka thulaganyo e. Ke bidwa Honorable Arafat Kisokan ke mo Palamente wa Molepolle North ke eteletse pele Committee ya Statutory Bodies and State Enterprises. Jaanong ke a go neela mapalamente gore ba introduce le bodiredi ha ba hetsa be ke le togella gore o ba introduce o re bolele gore o mang o ba introduce ba team ya gago. Be re tsena mo oathing e bo dira presentation. After presentation te be re botsa dipotso. Honorable Furniture.
Ke a leboga modulasetilo ente ke le dumedisa maina a me ke bidwa go te tlhabologo Furniture ke leloko la komiti yone mme ke palamenta ko Tatio Botlhaba ke a leboga.
Dumelang ke bidwa ga hele Stombo ke mo Parlamento a Tonota ke leloko la komiti yone.
Dumelang ke bidwa Mpemetse Kwapa. I'm a member of Parliament for BOTSWANA. I'm also a member of this committee. Thank you.
Ke a leboga, Honorable Chair. My name's Jeremiah Jerry Frenzel, Member of Parliament for constituency called Shashe West, which comprises of villages Sabo Matangwane, Shashemoke, Kwakubo Matsitama, Lebo Mabesekwa. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Dumelang bagaetsho ke bidiwa Caterpillar kaina ngura hikwama ke mo Palamente wa Mau West ke leloko la komiti yone. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Dumelang beso ke bidiwa Phil Aaron ke mo Palamente wa Ngami mi bile ke leloko la komiti yone. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Janet Madiepe Mahana, Deputy Auditor General. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. My name is Koketsong Simanyani, Assistant Accountant General, standing in for the Accountant General. I'm with my colleague, Gatata Molefe. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Rapalande Zimkau from Attorney General.
Good morning. Kibidwa Khamang Ulibele. I'm the technical advisor to the committee.
Good morning. Ke bidwa tiro ya one Monthusi Morewakwena ke le mokwaledi wa komiti yone.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning. Names for the record are Tel Selezo from the Parliamentary Council's office. Thank you.
Now is your turn to do the introductions.
Good morning. My name is Tuta Tracy. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Civil Aviation Authority of Botswana.
Your name
Tuto
again?
Toisi. Yes, sir. And to my left is our Acting Director of Finance, Mema Maditi Pediani, and our Internal Auditor is Mr. Kalebo Hamhaitsu, and to the far left, our Corporate Secretary, Mr. Kabelo Khaunyadiwe.
Okay. Let me remind the witnesses that these proceedings are held under oath. You have been summoned to give evidence before this Parliament Committee on Statutory Bodies and State Enterprises. The evidence you will give before this committee will be on oath or affirmation and must be on truthful in terms of the oath or affirmation you shall take before the giving of your evidence. You have the option to swear to oath on the Bible or Quran by putting your left hand on the Bible and with your right hand raised. Or you may opt to make an affirmation if you object to the first oath and declare. Kindly indicate the option you are electing, either oath or affirmation.
I'll take an oath on the Bible.
Okay, then you can stand up. I,
Tutu Toisi,
do hereby swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee
the evidence I shall give before this committee
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth.
And nothing else but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. You may switch off the mic. I,
Matipe Diani,
do hereby swear that
do hereby swear that
the evidence I shall give before this committee
the evidence I shall give before this committee
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
and
nothing else but the truth.
And nothing else but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. Let's go back out. Should this laptop? I do hereby swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth.
Nothing else but the whole truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. I,
Kabelo Boseong Haonyadiu,
do hereby swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee
the evidence I shall give before this committee
shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth.
And nothing else but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. On behalf of this Statutory Bodies Committee, I welcome you to this committee. Your attendance is appreciated. Please note that this examination is part of our Parliament's oversight responsibility. As a result, we welcome your cooperation and thoughtful responses to members of this committee. I'm now going to invite the accounting officer to present his executive summary. Please limit your presentation only to key issues and highlights of the mandate, financial performance, governance, auditors report, BAWA, PPRA, and other regulators report. You only have 15 minutes to do the presentation. The to half 12 Ebereshais.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, members of the Public Accounts Committee, honorable members of Parliament, government officials, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, allow me to, first of all, express my appreciation to this honorable committee for the opportunity to appear before you today regarding the governance, operational performance, institutional direction, and strategic priorities of the Civil Aviation Authority of Botswana. The Civil Aviation Authority of Botswana is a statutory body
established under the Civil Aviation Act of 2004 and continued under the Civil Aviation Act number 11 of 2011. The Civil Aviation Authority of Botswana exercises its mandate on behalf of the government of Botswana. The authority performs 3 core civil aviation functions, which are regulatory oversight, management of Botswana's airspace and air navigation services, management of airports and related aviation infrastructure. And in carrying out this mandate, the Civil Aviation Authority of Botswana is responsible for ensuring compliance with national aviation legislation and International Civil Aviation Organization standards and recommended practices while safeguarding our national aviation safety, security, operational reliability, and public confidence in Botswana's aviation sector. Beyond this technical role, the Civil Aviation Authority of Botswana contributes directly to Botswana's broader national development agenda through the facilitation of tourism, trade, logistics, investment, and regional connectivity. Since assuming my leadership of the authority a few months ago, my focus has been directed towards strengthening governance, improving operational oversight, reinforcing accountability, stabilizing institutional performance, and positioning the authority for long-term operational and financial stability. I was duly appointed to the position of Chief Executive Officer on the 1st of February 2026. And I bring to this role over 3 decades of aviation executive leadership experience acquired across both local and international aviation environments, including commercial aviation operations, flight safety management, logistics, leadership within highly regulated operational institutions, and safety-critical environments. Over the course of my career, I have served progressively in senior leadership, operational and command roles within Air Botswana, Air Mauritius, Air Tanzania, Etihad Airways, Ethiopian Airlines, and within Regional Aviation and Logistics Center, including command responsibilities on modern wide-body international aircraft operations across global jurisdictions and regulatory environments. These include special qualifications such as polar operations, North and South Atlantic organized track systems, the Australian organized track structure, including also South American regional operations. My experience further includes executive and operational management responsibilities involving safety management systems, operational oversight and financial management, crew leadership, regulatory engagements, infrastructure coordination, and complex multi-jurisdictional logistics operations across our southern region. Mr. Chairman, I also hold an FAA airline transport pilot's license and have accumulated close to 30,000 hours, half of which in command of large aircraft platforms, flying both Boeing and Airbus aircraft in very demanding international airspaces. This exposure, Mr. Chairman, has reinforced the importance of operational discipline, safety culture, institutional accountability, proper risk management, and continuous alignment with the ever-evolving global aviation standards and best practices. Leadership approach and organizational direction. Mr. Chairman, my vision is to position CAAB, Civil Aviation Authority of Botswana, as a high-performing civil aviation authority that delivers safe, secure, efficient, and sustainable aviation services while it's supporting Botswana's ambitions as a regional aviation, logistics, and tourism hub. The leadership direction is aligned to the Civil Aviation Authority of Botswana's
transformation strategy of 2024 to 2029, which emphasizes aviation safety oversight, operational efficiency, service delivery, airport infrastructure development, and strong alignment with the International Civil Aviation Organization standards and recommended practices. Achieving these objectives, therefore, requires balanced institutional performance across key areas, including regulatory compliance, infrastructure management, financial sustainability and technology modernization, and human capital development. This approach is consistent with modern government principles reflected in frameworks such as the King IV report on corporate governance, which recognizes that sustainable institutional performance extends beyond financial outcomes alone and must also encompass governance effectiveness, operational integrity, stakeholder confidence, regulatory compliance, and long-term organizational sustainability. Importantly, Mr. Chairman, sustainable institutional performance is ultimately driven by the people who work for this organization. A motivated, accountable, technically capable, and service-oriented workforce remains central to the authority's long-term success. A people-first organization that recognizes and prioritizes employee well-being and happiness and customer care over short-term profits. An organization that operates on the principle that taking care of your people naturally yields success and loyalty. It is aligned to Botswana's broader national development agenda under Vision 2036, the Botswana Economic Transformation Program, BETP, and the National Development Plan 12, all of which recognize aviation as an important enabler of trade, tourism, logistics, investment attraction, regional connectivity, and the broader economic participation. Institutional performance and financial position. From the financial year 2021 to the financial year 2025, the authority recorded notable improvement in both financial performance and liquidity positions. Notably, total revenue increased by approximately 50% from 311 million in financial year 2023 to financial year 2025 increased to 467 million pula. Importantly, own-generated revenue increased from approximately 181 million pula to 325 million pula over the same period. Internally generated revenue also continues to account for an increasing proportion of total income, reflecting gradual improvement in the authority's operational self-sufficiency, revenue diversification, and overall operational maturity. Aeronautical revenue grew by approximately 70%, driven mainly by passenger service charges, en route navigation fees, and recovery in aircraft movement and passenger activity following the COVID-19 period. Non-aeronautical revenue also more than doubled over the same review period, particularly from airport-related commercial activities, rentals, and airport-linked business activity. Management also continues to prioritize growth in non-aeronautical revenue streams as part of broader revenue diversification and long-term sustainability objectives. The authority's cash position improved consistently from approximately 26 million pula in financial year 2023 to approximately 59 million pula in financial year 2025. The accumulated deficit position also improved significantly, moving from approximately negative 33 million pula in financial year 2023
to a positive accumulated surplus position of approximately 14 million pula in financial year 2025. The authority further maintained unqualified audit opinions throughout the 4-year period. In addition, the going concern uncertainty highlighted by external auditors in financial year 2025 and financial year 2024 was removed in financial year 2025 following improvement in profitability, liquidity, reserves, and continued government support. In the past 4 years, the authority has complied with its statutory obligations with regard to submitting all our annual financial reports. On expenditure, employee costs remain the largest cost driver, accounting for approximately 71% of total expenditure in financial year 2025. Repairs and maintenance expenditure also increased materially over the same period, reflecting our aging infrastructure, increased operational activity, and ongoing maintenance requirements across our airports and operational infrastructure. Trade receivables increased materially during financial year 2025, particularly amounts relating to aviation operators and other receivable balances. This remains an area requiring close management attention from both an operational and working capital management perspective. Management also recognizes the importance of strengthening data management and recovery mechanisms in respect to certain aviation sector receivable balances. Management focus is therefore not only on revenue growth, but equally on improving operational sustainability, strengthening working capital management, enhancing collections and receivables, and and ensuring disciplined infrastructure and capital expenditure oversight. Particular focus is also being directed towards governance and implementation oversight of capital infrastructure projects to ensure timely delivery, operational relevance, and value for money outcomes. Management therefore remains focused on expenditure discipline and cost control, infrastructure maintenance planning, strengthening contract procurement and project oversight processes to ensure that infrastructure expenditure, outsourced services, and capital projects are properly scoped, monitored, verified, and aligned to operational requirements and value for money principles. And finally, on reducing long-term dependence on government subvention. Overall, the authority's financial position has improved materially over the past 4 financial years. However, sustained financial discipline, operational efficiency, prudent cash flow management, and infrastructure planning will remain important in maintaining this trajectory. Our safety, operational oversight, and governance. Mr. Chairman, safety remains the authority's foremost operational priority and continues to underpin all areas of aviation oversight, airport operations, air navigation services, and regulatory compliance. Management therefore remains focused on strengthening aviation safety oversight capability, technical compliance environments, operational reliability, and institutional accountability across the authorities. I've got 5
minutes to summarize.
Okay, I was just halfway through.
Okay.
Particular attention is being directed towards strengthening regulatory oversight capability, inspectorate effectiveness surveillance programs, and alignment with ICAO standards and recommended practices. The authority also recognizes the importance of maintaining adequate technical inspectorate capacity in support of aviation safety oversight obligations, surveillance programs, certification functions, and broader ICAO compliance requirements. The authority's current focus is therefore not mainly merely on corrective intervention, but on institutional strengthening, operational stability, regulatory credibility, and sustainable long-term performance improvement across all critical operational areas. Management is systematically addressing PPRA's core recommendations conducted in January 2024. The Botswana Accountancy Oversight Authority, BAWA, conducted its first financial reporting and corporate governance review of the Civil Aviation Authority of Botswana in accordance with the Financial Reporting Act in July 2025. The review assessed compliance with international financial reporting standards and KIN's 4 corporate governance principles. Mr. Chairman, Botswana will assume the role of the Southern African Development Community, SADC, alternate representative at the International Civil Aviation Organization mission in Montreal, Canada. This appointment will span a 3-year term from 2025 to 2028, during which Botswana will serve as an alternate representative, and upon successful election, will assume the position of representative for the same period. In addition, the Civil Aviation Authority of Botswana is scheduled to take over the chairmanship of SADC Aviation Safety Organization, SASO, headquarters in Eswatini from August this year. This chairmanship will provide Botswana with a strategic leadership role in coordinating regional aviation safety initiatives, harmonizing regulatory standards, and strengthening collective oversight capacity across SADC member states. Together, these responsibilities underscores Botswana's obligations to ensure continuity of engagement with ICAO, enhance Southern Africa's collective role in international aviation policy, and reaffirm the country's commitment to advancing safe, secure, and sustainable air transport. The Civil Aviation Authority of Botswana's board is fully constituted now, and I also wish to acknowledge the continued support, resilient oversight, proactive governance leadership demonstrated by our board of directors. The board has remained actively engaged on matters relating to governance, operational oversight, institutional accountability, organizational strengthening, while it's continuing to provide strategic guidance to management and the authority at large. Strategic priorities going forward. Chairman, in line with CAAB's transformation agenda of 2024 to 2025, the authority's priorities remain focused on strengthening aviation connectivity, improving airport and airspace operations, modernizing aviation systems, and positioning Botswana to benefit from long-term growth within the global aviation sector. The authority recognizes that aviation extends beyond transportation alone. Aviation remains a critical enabler of tourism, trade, investment attraction, logistics, emergency response capability, and broader economic participation. This direction is also consistent with Botswana's broader development agenda under Vision 2036, the BETP, Botswana Economic Transformation Program, and the National Development Plan 12, all of which emphasize economic diversification, export-led growth, infrastructure development, tourism, and improved regional connectivity. At regional level, the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area, together with the SADC Transport Corridor and trade facilitation initiatives, continue to increase the importance of efficient aviation, cargo logistics, and border-connected infrastructure. In the 2025 State of the Nation address, His Excellency President Advocate Duma Boko further reaffirmed the government's intention to position Botswana as, I quote, a transport hub for the 360 million strong SADC market, unquote. The development of the Cecil Retsakgama International Airport special economic zone and broader airport city concept further reinforces the role of aviation infrastructure in Botswana's economic positioning. CESA identified Sesretsakgama International Airport Special Economic Zone as Botswana's flagship special economic zone, intended to support aviation-linked activity, logistics, diamond beneficiation, hospitality, business services, and other investment sectors. In its World Transport Focus of 2025 to 2054, Airports Council International, ACI World, reported that global passenger traffic reached approximately 9.8 billion passengers by the year 2025, representing approximately 107% of the 2019 level. ACI World further projects global passenger traffic to reach approximately 10.2 billion passengers in 2026 and approximately to grow to 18.8 billion passengers by 2045, reflecting long-term structural growth in aviation demand. Similarly, IATA Industry Outlook continues to project sustained growth in passenger demand, cargo movement, aviation-related economic activity over the medium to long term, with African airlines expected to benefit from increasing regional connectivity and trade integration. These developments, Mr. Chairman, present important, very important opportunities for Botswana to increase its participation within regional and international aviation markets through improved connectivity, cargo capability, airport service delivery, safety oversight, and supporting commercial infrastructure. The authority's immediate priorities include strengthening aviation safety oversight capability and ICAO-aligned compliance systems, modernizing our airport infrastructure, strengthening governance and accountability, and strengthening also our staff capability and performance management, improving long-term financial sustainability and revenue diversification. To this end, as the government prepares for the implementation of the National Development Plan 12, the Civil Aviation Authority of Botswana continues to engage investors with the aim to secure potential investors on the development of the Maung International Airport and the upgrading of the Sesretsakgama International Cargo Facility. A feasibility study has been completed, Mr. Chairman, and is currently going through the decision-making process by the Civil Aviation Authority of Botswana and by the government, our shareholder. This process is expected to be completed by the end of June 2026, that's next month. For CAAB to be a fully viable entity, Mr. Chairman, we'll continue to explore ways to broaden our revenue streams through air connectivity. Botswana is hosting the Aviation Development Conference, AviaDev Africa 2026, between the 9th and 13th of June 2026 in Gaborone. So that's next month, Mr. Chairman. This conference aims at bringing together over 450 delegates and 50 airline representatives. This is a huge strategic, economic, and diplomatic opportunity for Botswana. I know I'm running out of time, Mr. Chairman, but this is important to mention. The Botswana Air Access Program, which consists of the Civil Aviation Authority of Botswana, Air Botswana, HATAB, Business Botswana, Botswana Investment and Trade Center, Travel Agents of Botswana, TABOD, and Botswana Tourism Organization, BTO, is going to use this platform to showcase Botswana as a tourism, business, and investment destination. A well-managed AviaDev Africa conference places Botswana at the heart of the aviation dialogue on the continent and can potentially catalyze increased airline operations into the country, tourism growth, investor confidence, and opportunity to attract new airlines to Botswana as it brings together under one roof global thought leaders in aviation to advance sustainable air connectivity investments and innovation. In conclusion, Mr. Chairman, I know I've run out of my time. The Civil Aviation Authority of Botswana has made measurable progress in improving its financial position, operational performance, and governance environment over recent years. At the same time, management fully appreciates that continued institutional strengthening, operational discipline, and sustained execution will remain necessary to ensure long-term sustainability, regulatory credibility, and public confidence. CAAB's role is therefore not only limited to aviation. It also helps to create a safe, efficient, credible aviation platform through which Botswana will participate more effectively in regional trade, tourism, logistics, investment, and continental market integration. Our commitment as leadership, along with our service partners and key stakeholders, is to continue building a safe aviation environment, a stronger governance culture, improved operational reliability, and a very high-performing civil aviation authority capable of supporting Botswana's broader economic and development aspirations. Mr. Chairman, I look forward to continuing a constructive engagement with this honorable committee. And as our authority, the Civil Aviation Authority of Botswana, advances its institutional transformation journey, I thank you, Chairperson, and honorable members. I submit.
Thank you so much. Kenako Edi Pucho, Honorable Aaron.
Kialeboga, Chairperson. Thank you, Zenakwe. Kialeboge Retoise for your submissions. Gongwe ke tlhaloganya no rona le baka le ka he o le CEO. 3 months and a bit. Okay.
It's from the 1st of February.
And in general, when I look at here, CAAB, I'm sorry, Civil Aviation Authority, yes. In general, when I look at only more Civil Aviation Authority, other than this post.
No, I joined as Chief Executive 1st of February.
Thank you. Okay. Kialeboga. Next I created dialogue, but the potso dingwe di bo tlhokwa gore ngwe di tlhaloganye pele o ka tswelela. Gongwe mme ke tlhaloganye gore more with regard to aircraft licensing. To what extent has Civil Aviation Authority met its mandatory statutory mandatory to provide reliable and safe air transport services? Le gore ha o lebile your resources tse di tlhokagala for international standard for safe aircraft aviation, a o bona ile gore Botswana kana Civil Aviation Authority e mo standard se ile gore se tlhoka simita international standard. Ha gona go pega ha ile gore o ka re gongwe la sokolanyana le kotase. Okay. Gongwe gape ke tlhaloganye gore kana o tlhokometse di airport tse tsotlhe mme go na le mo go bidiwang di landing strips a re tswe yanong mo ditoropong re bue ka those non-urban airstrips tse di sotegileng tse di kgaothaneng di tlhokometswe ke mazone ka tsa ditoropo tsone go lebega o ka re o dira tiro e botoka thata. Gongwe to give you an example, landing airstrip ya Gumare kore tse di tshwana tse they are non-commercial but they are critical in life saving. Di tlhokometswe ke mang di sotegile mo go kana. Gongwe ke tlhaloganye gape gore a Civil Aviation Authority le kopana ha kae le BOTSWANA ebile le kgaogana ha kae ke utile ha wela go tswalela o bua ka lona le bo BOTSWANA le bo BTO gongwe motswana sa tlhaloganyeng sentente o mmontshe gore Civil Aviation Authority ke me BOTSWANA ha me le ke ntse le di tshwaraganela mmogo for yeah take re ka yalo ke taemalo ke a leboga modulasetilo. Thank you.
Honorable Francis.
Okay, Honorable Chair, and thank you, Mr. Toisi, for that wonderful presentation. Honorable Chair, what measures are in place to ensure timely reconciliations and authorization of project funds and project bank accounts? Honorable Chair, what I wanted to know about the licensing the helicopter. If one wants to get or buy himself one, what's the procedure? Procedure with regard to acquiring the license. In general, the committee appreciates your audited reports for the year ended 31 March 2025, and we do congratulate you for the clean audit opinion. Please share your strategies and consistently producing audit accounts with the required timelines as a benchmark for other SOEs. Your revenues far exceeded the government subvention for 2025. This must also be applauded. Should we then foresee your organization paying dividends to government in the near future? Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Honorable Frederica.
Modulasetilo. I ke batla go itebaganya le tsa corporate governance. Santahela, can you please confirm whether the key strategic and financial matters were adequately reviewed and approved in accordance with the authority's governance framework? Sabobit, what mechanism are now in place to ensure continuity and effective governance going forward? The mechanism in place. Saboraru, please share successful practices towards achieving an effective board of directors. Sabone, ba lena le ba bereki ba ile gore gongwe ba mo suspension mo nako ya gompieno ba bangwe gongwe ba ka tswang ba kubilwe. True or false? Mme ha ile gore is true, go na le di-allegations tsa gore ba ka tswa gongwe ba segetswe ko thoko ntateng ya corruption, maladministration, nepotism, because of issues tsa finance tsa go nna le di-ghost employees. Can you speak to that so that re itse gore babereki bao mo nako ya gompieno lephata la lona le latlhegetswe ke bokae, if that's true, gore go nne le di-ghost employees tse e le gore gongwe ne ba duelwa mo lephateng la lona. A go na le di-criminal charges tse di setseng gongwe di lebisitswe bao ba e le gore gongwe ba ka tswa ba amega mo go sodisiwa. Ke nngwe ya dilo tse ke batla go di tsa bogelo ke ditsamaiso tsa lona tsa babereki gore di supa gore ngwaga le ngwaga ba tshwanetse gore gongwe ba hiwe di-notch. In the past 10 years le setse le kgonne go le kae gore babereki ba lona ba ka duelwa according to the notch tsone tse e le gore gongwe di ka ga tlase ga tsamaiso ya lona le lephata. Dipotso tsa me I think di taema go le kalo modulasetilo.
Thank you, Chair. Tsame di lebagane le di recommendations tsa BAO. Which BAO recommendations remain outstanding and why were agreed timelines not met? How has the management ensured that governance instruments required by BAWA are fully adopted and operational? Thank you, Chair.
Yes. Comrade Ikwama, ebere.
Ke a leboga modulasetilo, ke a leboga Retoisi. Ke me ke latedise engwe mabapi le tse di boditsweng ke Honorable Aaron. Go lebega Civil Aviation Authority e ne e dirile mabala a mantsi kana ena le mabala mo mahelo a harologaneng mo pake e hitileng. Gompieno dikago tsa tsone mabala one o le tsone go nkete go latheletswe mme ke madi a re ka tswa a re ka reng ke madi a setšhaba mme go latheletswe go a thuthurega ditonki di a itsenela mong go lebegang kete ga gona ope o bonang gore go diragala eng le kgakala go le kae le seemo sone se gore dilo tse tsa setšhaba di se ka di a re tswa di ate ebile se ka di a re senyegela di re tswele mosola gona le gore di timelegela jalo ebile ke go lebega e kete pele ne le na le yone phisego ya go dira one mabala one gompieno kgathego ga iyo. What went wrong se se reversitseng gore go thokomelwe one mabala one ya le ebile re tswelle ka go a dirisa ebile ka ra thabologa ra re tsa gore ha re thabologa ke gone re thoka le gone go hua mo go godimo go na le jaaka pele jaanong is the reverse ke yone e bona. What could be the cause for that? Se sengwe ga ke lebelela mokwalo mongwe ke o kwadilweng ka di 31 tsa ga March 2022 to this auditor management letter e supa gore le na le kana le supa gore ne le na le dithaelo tsa compliance le sa comply thata le CAAB Act mme go supagala gore ne le bokoa mo tsamaisong ya body go na le some weaknesses in board effectiveness. O ka tlhalosa gore tota tsene di dira gore go nne le bokoa joneo jwa go thoka go obamela le go tsamaelana le molawana o le laolang this governance failures ne di khosiwa ke thata mme gompieno le dirile maiteko a le kae go leka go itebaganya le tsone bokoa jo bo bonweng jonejo. Go na le dikgato tse di maleba tse di gagametseng tse le di tsereng go leka go itebaganya le seemo sone se ebile ga o lebile one bokoa jonejo o ka tsa gore bo amile go le kae go tsaya ditshwetso tse di maleba mo komponeng ya lona. Gongwe ke tana maki eme gone ha ke ta tswela ntse re botsantse go
mme ke re pela ke le nela tsa me di khutshwanyane go na le dikela go nna le ke tswa le ka explain the background ya audit di kilela ya dirwa mme go eletseng go suspendiwa the executive le gore criteria e ne diriswa ya go suspenda ke ya bobedi gore mme go boammaaruri gore ga le supported the national airline le gore ha le gore go boammaaruri mabaka ke ya bohelo ke gore o ithetse go ntse yang ha o tsena ka mo 3 months o ntse mo teng gore no go ntse yang in terms of audit le general governance la gore re tlhaloso gore o itela semo se ntse yang
sorry honorable chair mme ke ne ke lebetse engwe ke bone e ntshwenya mo gongwe ke go thoka kitso game ke malo last week utwa di flight di ground dilo tsa Botswana ga gomo la mana ja mo go ground di flight tshwanetse re di tsamaya lona be le di goga gore se ka di atsamaya kana ga se lona kana ke boma a be di affecta le di schedule tsa rona ke lona ba le di ground kana ke bone gore ke bone ba e Botswana men ke te ke lona ke le dira ja
ba tara bora ke boe kana se bo se ba patele song a se bo ya me ke tla lena la se ba ka gore le arabe dipotso tsa dipotso me gape ha le gore gona ba batlang ba go thusa ka ga ka ba nela ka o se go atoga wa ditsa so tseng o sa kgone go di araba e se gore ga ona bokgoni ha ke rialo.
Thank you, Chairman, and honorable members. Given the size and complexity of our organization, the challenges that we face as far as meeting our statutory obligations and our obligations to ICAO are many, and it is worldwide among member states recognized that effective implementation in the area of hiring and retraining and retaining qualified specialists in authorities such as CAAB has got a low implementation score. And Botswana, Civil Aviation Authority of Botswana is no different. We are facing challenges as far as retaining our specialists is concerned. For example, just this week, we will be losing 2 engineers from our air navigation services sector. These are engineers who are responsible in the implementation of the latest air navigation system. We are unable to retain them just because the wages in the organization are not competitive enough. We're losing them to organizations such as Botswana Telecommunications. We are losing them to Botswana prisons. And as far as our oversight responsibilities are concerned, our oversight over all the AOC holders, Air Operator Certificate holders in Botswana is concerned, we are facing extreme challenges. For example, just here in Gaborone, we just got
a few flight inspectors, and they are not coping in terms of handling the amount of manuals that they have to approve for the different operators. Last week, I received a call from the managing director of CAAB, Mr. Fitzgerald. He bought an Embraer 120, it's a passenger jet, that they want to add to their AOC. They bought it, I think he said, in 2019. This aeroplane has been standing since 2019. For about 6 years it's been standing because we lack the resources to approve their manuals fast enough. So that's first. Secondly, we lack the qualified, trained, capable inspectors to go through these manuals. Now, we appealed, last month, we appealed to our shareholder, the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure, to allow us to hire more specialists in that area. We've been able to hire 2 specialists so far, and they are working with CAAB, they're working with the other charter operators in Gaborone, and including Air BOTSWANA. So we have a lot of challenges. We have challenges with our engineers, we have challenges with our flight safety inspectors, we have challenges with air traffic controllers. Just to give you an example, and I have to be very careful here and responsible with what I put on the public space, because Civil Aviation Authority of Botswana is monitored and audited by the International Civil Aviation Authority. We are also due for an audit this year. So in terms of sharing our challenges, one has got to be careful what they share in a public space like this. But we are very challenged when it comes to the provision of air navigation services. If I may give you an example, for in Maung, we during certain periods, we are working with 1 air traffic controller instead of 5. So you can imagine the kind of consequences that might have. It is one of the busiest there. So for certain shifts, the air traffic controllers are not even able to go for bathroom breaks. 8-hour shift. So the answer to the question of whether we are able to meet our regulatory obligations, yes, we are. Regardless of the circumstances surrounding staffing and funding, we assume full responsibility for meeting these safety obligations. One thing about CAAB, our employees take their responsibilities very seriously, and their passion for aviation makes up for, in most circumstances, it makes up for what we lack in funding. Air BOTSWANA is just one of the operators that CAAB oversights, and we have surveillance duties over Air Botswana. We have to make sure that they comply with regulations, with our local regulations, with with international regulations, and that they meet international standards and standard practices as far as their operations are concerned, as far as the licensing of their pilots are concerned. So, referring to what happened last week, Honorable Aaron, in the course of our normal oversight duties, there were certain there were certain aspects of their operation that did not satisfy the authority. So that was brought to their attention, and we collaboratively worked with Air Botswana to try to find solutions for them. And they have now brought another trainer from Brazil to try to requalify their pilots whose licenses had expired. Why they were allowed to lapse, Your Honorable, only Air Botswana can answer that. They knew that the licenses were about to expire. So our question was why their planning was so poor. And we cannot allow them to compromise safety. We take our oversight duties very seriously. So as far as that is concerned, we are engaging with them. We're trying to find solutions with them. And even now, we are trying to assist them to requalify the pilots this week. The authority maintains 4 international airports. We have Cesar Zakama International Airport, the Maui International Airport, PG Matante, Kasane, and Kasane as well. And to maintain these airports to international standards is a very costly exercise. So as far as maintaining all the other airstrips across the country is concerned, due to some funding, fiscal constraints, we have not been able to maintain them to the required standards. So the authority had to make some hard decisions. We have shut down a number of airstrips around the country because we are not able to make them safe for the public. So that was a decision that was strategically taken by management over the past 2 years.
Through you, Chair.
Yeah.
Like with regard to those non-urban airstrips, as I've mentioned, are you aware they are of life-saving, very critical? For instance, in areas up north, where to access the nearest quality health facility, you talk of kilometers over 1,000. Don't you see it important to maintain them, not necessarily for the purpose of revenue earning, but like I've said, specifically for life-saving issues, medvac, or evacuations, medical evacuations? Thank you.
Well, mean, hona le follow up or ke ba hena go gore ba arabe go thona ke follow up kana le ta bona gora gore ke le naela 6 minutes e bele gare tse diposo 6 minutes so you're half 12 very headed.
Through you, Chair. May I speak to questions relating to governance? A couple of honorable members asked questions relating, so may I ask to group them because they are just about almost related to what we know and from our previous audit with BAWA. First of all, let me place it on record that and confirm that we were indeed audited by BAWA in July last year. They made their findings across the finance spectrum and also corporate governance. On corporate governance, we have tried so far, we have closed 2, which is the establishment of the remuneration committee. The finding here came about as a result of that we didn't have a correct board at the time that the audit was conducted. BAWA advised on the steps to take. We did take those. Ultimately, a quorum was formed, the full board was appointed, and we established the necessary committees, one of which is the Human Capital and Remuneration Committee. So that one is closed. And then there are also several policies that are under development, most of which are at drafting stage, through particularly most of them because they relate to HR issues that are ongoing. We anticipate that by end of Q2, we should be able to have drafts that we can take through our approval processes, including the board. There is also a question on the awarding of notches. We have been awarded notches from 2017 up to 2024. And I can indicate that at the present moment, our employee representative union and our structure called the JNCC are negotiating for the current year and as well as the other employee welfare issues. They are at the table as we speak. So we have managed to award those. And then we also, in terms of speaking to the board managing to operate and effectively make decisions, we keep our board members trained. When they are appointed, we make sure we induct them into what the CAAB is about and what we expect of them for CAAB. And then along the way, we take them for trainings. The current board is yet to go for training because it comprises of about 4 new members. And then there are returning members, but we keep them abreast, refreshed with refresher trainings. So they'll be going for training, hopefully, in the very near future, because it is important for them to be able to operate efficiently and make those their oversight functions easier. And then there was and then may I also speak to about suspended employees. I would appreciate to differentiate 2 situations here. There are those that were suspended in the previous years over disciplinary matters, and the processes have been completed. Some have been reinstated, some have been released following our processes. And then there is an ongoing audit that has some members on administrative leave, which I would request the Honourable House to not go into the details because the audit is ongoing as we speak, and we do not want to taint it in any manner. I would humbly request that we not go into the details of the audit over the current situation. And then I think I've covered those unless there is one that I may have inadvertently left out. Thank you, Chair.
As far also, if I may just add, Chair, as far as the financial position of the authority is concerned, the authority owns a lot of valuable real estate around its airport. For example, it owns a lot of land around the Khama International Airport, and the same applies to Francistown Airport, the same applies to Kasane Airport. So going forward, in terms of diversifying our revenues, the authority is intent on commercializing these land parcels. In Francistown Airport, for example, Francistown presently, as it stands, is a big cost center to the authority. What we are looking at for Francistown is a strategic partner to privatize the airport and to grow the ecosystem around the airport and grow the airport-linked businesses, commercializing the land parcels in Francistown, and to build hotels, to build student accommodation, to build manufacturing industries around the whole Francistown Airport ecosystem. So this already there's keen interest in this value proposition going forward. So we are engaging with American investors to grow the whole ecosystem around the Francistown Airport. The Kasane Airport also strategically sits in an area where we want to grow the ecosystem towards the town. We want to commercialize that in the same way that we want to commercialize the space around Francistown Airport. The Khama Airport, we are intent on developing and extending the cargo section. We've had interest from many airlines so far to start operating to start their cargo operations into Gaborone. So in terms of diversifying our revenue streams, we're looking at all these projects. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, may I also assist with this one from Honorable Ikwama and Aaron about the airstrips, the remote airstrips. The desire is there to have them operate because we understand and know their importance. They are very strategic airfields. The limitation, as the CEO indicated earlier, came about as a result of lack of funding. Part of our operations are funded by the shareholder, and when government placed a moratorium on government funding, it affected those projects because they were planned to be revamped. The Gumare, the Shakawe, the Mamuno airstrips up north there. So the desire is there to have them fully operational. As soon as we get funding, we will be able to revamp those and have them operational to the required standard. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Follow-up 1 minute.
Okay, thank you, Chair. There is one thing that I would like to understand right now is with regard to the travel industry, the MICE activities, to say
how does Civil Aviation Authority support it, more especially your tenants, and how does the organization ensure that the tenants are also given opportunity in participating in services such as transportation and from airport facility? Just to give an example, how close were you with the world relays? Because there was observation that BX were the ones who were mainly engaged in transporting the athletes and delegates. And the Civil Aviation Authority supported and facilitated. It's more like it appeared like you facilitated and supported this arrangement. However, you have capable tenants who can provide services like that. What are measures in place to ensure that such tenants are also considered, empowered to participate in activities or opportunities like that? If it was an oversight, how do you intend to get our business communities involved? And there is an area of concern with regard to security at the airport that I would also like you to clarify. How prepared is the airport authority or Civil Aviation Authority in terms of security emergency responses in the event of, say, robbery or security threats at the airport? And how ready is the authority to respond effectively to protect your passengers, tenants, and other stakeholders? Just to say additional, what are the security measures and emergency protocols currently in place to handle such incident? And how often are these systems reviewed and tested to ensure preparedness? Thank you.
Honorable Chair, may you share your strategies for consistently producing your audit accounts so as to other SOEs to copy from you? Thank
you. I'll let my finance director handle that one, but to respond to Honorable Aaron's question, there is an initiative that was formed through a memorandum of understanding by BOTSWANA, HATAP, TABOT, Business Botswana, BITC, BTO, and Civil Aviation of Botswana. It's called the Botswana Air Access. And what Botswana Air Access, among other things, the objectives of the Botswana Air Access, among other things, is to improve air connectivity and improve tourism. We work with many stakeholders at the airport. The tenants that you are referring to, probably you are referring to the chauffeur VIP service providers at the airport. We engaged with those. We're very intentional about supporting their businesses. So we even made it clear to the participants and teams that were arriving from overseas that they should use our VIP and chauffeur services. Some of them were given even when with reference to the World Relays again. We worked very closely with BOTSWANA. We gave them advertising space. We gave them stalls. Some of our business owners were given free stalls. So we're very intentional about supporting our local businesses during the World Relays.
Yes, sorry, but I was like specific. Sorry, Chair. Sorry, it is more just in relation to what the accounting officer just said.
Yes.
I didn't hear it come clear to say like we gave a specific reference to the World Relays. Why were government vehicles were more forefront than the business community? I get wait as was and
what I know is we worked very closely with the business community towards the success of the World Relays. We engaged with BORS, we engaged with the police, we made sure that even their transit through our airports was with minimal delay. We were always there on hand, from their baggage collection through customs. So we engaged with them effectively, and I don't know how to you we were not visible, but we were very present. The Botswana Police Service formed part of the committee that looked at security at the airport, and they were never found wanting.
Yes. Ke yona amohelo tsa yona ya amohelo ya order.
Thank you, honorable members. I'll talk to around 2 issues. The BAWA audit findings and recommendations relating to the financial statements have been noted and addressed in the financial year 2025 financial statements. For some matters, the issues did not necessarily require adjustments. However, further clarification and disclosure will be done. Then the second question was, how are we able to have clean financial audit? A smooth audit process is achieved through effective planning, timely preparation of financial statements, and the availability of complete and well-organized supporting documentation. Strong internal controls, regular reconciliations, and early resolution of accounting issues help reduce errors and minimize audit adjustments. In addition, prompt responses to audit requests, good communication between CAAB management and auditors, availability of key personnel contribute significantly to an efficient audit process and timely completion of the audit. I submit. Thank you.
Yes. Lebogile ke tago pa hotela ona bo Francis no gore a le leboga ba tsona session ya gompieno tebe re boa gape ka two loko go ta kopana le SIDA.
Yeah, Honorable Chair, let me thank you, Mr. Antoisi, and your team for nako e le tsereng go ta go kopana le rona. Indeed, you are doing a good job, and le tshware hela jalo. Ke tsaya ke re for honoring this, ke go supa gore tota le tshwaetse, and le tswelle hela jalo. With that, since there is no time, Honorable Chair, who prepared a kopane le Honorable Aaron ba preparile dijo ka kwa gore go ngore tere e re rentse re bua tse dingwe every di bua re le mo tafoleng. So with that, thank you everyone. Ya ka dutule at 2 p.m. re ta re simolola. Ke a leboga.